Hi there, this is Sam of Core Yoga, and for the next 30 minutes I'm going to take you through a short foundational flow. Last week we really worked on feeling that connection, particularly through the feet, how we were able to activate the core muscles right from the floor. And today we're going to build on that, and we're going to bring our attention to the muscles of the inner thighs and how that can help us pull our pelvis into alignment, and how that can help us to activate the muscles in the circumference of the core. So we're going to need either a block, and if you don't have a block, then don't worry, I'm sure you guys have got a water bottle. So just bring a water bottle as wide, as thick as you can, and we'll use that instead. So I'm going to demonstrate with the blocks. I have one, but feel free to use the water bottle as and when. And so from here we're going to start by coming down to lie on our backs. And we're going to bring the block or the water bottle, so lengthways, either, you can't see the water bottle there, which is why I'm using the block, lengthways in the centre of the thighs, and then just walk the feet a little closer to the hands, and just take a moment, close off the eyes. So just allow the body to arrive, to settle. And very little kind of grip on this block. I can easily remove this block at the moment. And just tune into your breath. And start to deepen the breath. Feeling the movement of the physical body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And if your palms are facing down, turn them to face the sky, and as you do so, allow the shoulders to naturally drop open. Almost as though you had a little weight on the front of each shoulder that is helping that shoulder draw towards the floor. So we're just tuning in to upper body posture for a moment. And then feeling the circumference of the rib cage, start to draw your breath into that space. And as you exhale, start to feel the activation of the muscles that lie right in the center of the belly. And then next time you exhale, squeeze your inner thighs to really hold on to the block and notice what happens in the pelvis. And then inhale, let it go, notice what happens. So exhale, simply squeeze the block, and then inhale, release. So we're going to do that 3 more times. Exhale, squeeze the block between the knees. And inhale to release, and you're following the movement or whatever you notice as you exhale, squeeze around the pelvis. And as you inhale, release. So next one, you're going to squeeze the block, and as you squeeze the block or the bottle, you're going to feel the back of the pelvis push a little closer to the floor. And you'll also feel the muscles in the belly start to fire up. So bring your hands to that space. Keep those muscles in the belly engaged. Keep squeezing this block between your knees. And then move your hands up around your rib cage. What often happens, and particularly with beginners, is when we come into any sense of core work here, the ribs start to flare and we start to overarch through the back. So we're going to keep these ribs exactly where they are, and the hands are on the ribs as you squeeze that block and raise the feet 1 centimetre or 2 from the mat. So keep that work of the inner thighs, keep breathing wide into the rib space, and then on your next exhalation, let it go. So next time you do this, we're going to do it 2 more times. I want you to notice what happens to the muscles in the shoulders and the neck, what happens to the front of those shoulders, and how it wants to help you do a lot of the work. So hands are on the ribs just so you can feel them from, prevent them from flaring. Squeeze the inner thighs as you exhale. And then inhale just a centimetre or so off the floor, you raise your feet. And you're maintaining the breath here, noticing that these muscles in the upper shoulders want to help. Let them soften, let the work be of the inner thighs, and notice how that works into the front core muscles as well. And then exhale, release it. One breath here. And then as you exhale, squeeze the block, raise the feet, feel the muscles up and down the belly, make sure they're nice and connected. Ladies, if you've had a baby, make sure that you haven't got a big space between the abdominals, that you're hugging the two sets of abs towards one another and then down towards the floor. And then release that, release the block for a moment, hug your knees in towards your chest. Take one hand to each knee and take a little rock from side to side. Let the muscles in the belly go for a minute. And then come to the center, draw little circles with your right knee. And then take those circles back in the other direction. Good. Draw little circles with your left knee. And then take those circles back in the other direction. One more set, adding a little bit more to it, lying on the floor, and then we're coming to stand. So bring the block back between the inner thighs. As you exhale, squeeze the inner thighs and feel what happens at the pelvis. Bring your hands onto your ribs, stop them from flaring towards the sky. And then inhale, raise the feet a centimetre off the floor. Bring the hands by your side. Exhale, lift up, reaching your fingertips towards the front of the mat. So squeezing that block between those inner thighs is going to keep this pelvis in alignment and draw attention to those muscles in the belly. We've just added abdominals here. And then exhale, release it, hug the knees in towards the chest. Bring the block to your side for a moment. Rock yourself up to seated. So from seated, we're going to come all the way up to stand, and we're going to bring the block with us. And we're going to take the block between our knees in standing, or the bottle between our knees, between our thighs, sorry. And take our feet about hip distance apart. So we're going to stand at the top of the mat because we're going to lead into sun salutations here. Close the eyes. Allow the feet to be soft but grounded. And just release the tension in those inner thighs. And then as you exhale, squeeze those inner thighs together and just notice what happens to the muscles and the bones around those inner thighs. So then as you inhale, let it go. Exhale, squeeze that block with your inner thighs. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, squeeze the block firmly with your inner thighs. Hold it there, and then from there, release the tension a little bit. So there's still an element of activation, but it's not as strong and as powerful as it has been. 2 half salutations with the block in the inner thighs, keeping that same level of effort. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky, look up. Exhale, soften the knees and fold forwards. Inhale, halfway you lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky and look up. Exhale, soften the knees all the way back to forward fold. Inhale, halfway you lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky, look up. And exhale, palms together in the heart space. For now, take the block away. We're going to come back to it, so bring it just to the side of your mat. Now feeling that same activation, but now you have nothing between your inner thighs. Into Anjaneyasana lunge sequence. Inhale, reach your hands to the sky, look up. Exhale, soften the knees and fold. forwards. Inhale, halfway you lift. Exhale, right leg steps back, right knee to the floor. Still keep that engagement of inner thighs as you come to low lunge. Exhale, hands down, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale in downward facing dog. Exhale, come to all fours. Pop your block back, bring the knees together. Inhale, lift up into downward facing dog. Exhale, hold it here. So just take a moment, set your dog, and then feel that sense of drawing those inner thighs towards one another. You are not gripping this block so hard that it can't be pulled out, but you're holding it with your inner thighs. And then from here, inhale, draw your shoulders forward, come to a high plank, same activation of inner thighs. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, travel forwards. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale, last one to plank. This time, exhale, knees, thighs and belly down to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra, same level of activation. Exhale, come back to the floor. So you're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, feel those inner thighs, baby cobra. Exhale to return. One more, inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, push the floor away from you. Downward facing dog. Inhale, drop the knees to the floor. Move the block. Exhale, right foot stays forward. Imagine the blocks there. Inhale, reach your hands up, low lunge. Exhale, hands down. Left foot to join the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your hands to the sky, look up. The exhale, soften the knees and fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot back, left knee to the floor. Inhale, low lunge, reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Imagine the blocks between your thighs. Inhale, travel forwards to high plank. Exhale, keep the block there, down to the floor. Inhale, keep the block there. Baby cobra, it's just pretend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, drop both knees to the floor. Exhale, left foot steps forward. Inhale, reach your hands up and look up. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, halfway you lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach your hands up, look up. Exhale, palms together in the heart space. From here, inhale, reach up, look up. Now building standing poses, exhale, forward fold. With that same sensation, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, right leg steps back. Inhale, high lunge, crescent lunge and hold. Feel that sense of drawing of those inner thighs towards one another. That's all you're focusing on. And then notice how that perhaps changes your alignment, your stability in the pose. As you exhale, bring your hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Inhale, travel forwards to high plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, raise the right leg to the sky. Hold it here. And exhale, continue to breathe. Then inhale, reach the shoulders forward to high plank. Exhale, right knee towards your chest, step the right foot forward. Inhale, push the floor away from you, Crescent lunge and hold. Exhale. So continue to breathe here with the rhythm of breath. And simply the only thing you're thinking about is that sensation of holding that block or that bottle between your inner thighs. And then feeling how that changes the structure and the sensations within the pose. As you exhale, bring your hands to the floor. Step the left foot forward and fold. Inhale, halfway you lift. Exhale, forward fold. Building on this. Inhale, reach your hands to the sky and look up. Exhale, soften the knees and fold. Inhale, halfway you lift. Exhale, left foot steps back. Inhale, push the floor away from you. High lunge. Exhale, palms together in the heart space. Inhale, send the back heel back and the crown of the head forward. And exhale, stabilize here. Squeeze those inner thighs as we balance in this lunge. And then as you exhale, a slight rotation at the waist to twist. You're not hooking your arm at this face. You're feeling that use of inner thighs and noticing how that gives you more space to move. As you exhale, de-rotate. Hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. Inhale, travel forwards to high plank. Exhale all the way to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the left leg. And then exhale, hold it here. Feel those inner thighs working. Inhale, travel forwards to high plank. Exhale, left knee forward and step the left foot forward. Then inhale, reach your hands up. High lunge. Exhale, squeeze those inner thighs as you bring the hands together. So as you inhale, extend the right leg back, reach the crown of the head forward. Stabilize here and feel those squeeze of those inner thighs. How that allows you to take the weight off of the front leg and distribute it into the back leg by a simple action of inner thighs. Keeping that, you're exhaling to twist at the waist, feeling that sensation of stability in the lower limbs so we can move on top of that stable base. As you exhale, de-rotate, hands step forward. Right foot forward and fold. Inhale, halfway you lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky and look up. Then exhale, palms together in the heart space. Inhale, sit low, Utkatasana. And then exhale, imagine that block between your knees. Feel how that activation may be for you, particularly if this is foundation yoga for you, you'll feel the difference. As you exhale, fold forwards, let it go. Inhale, halfway you lift. Exhale, hands down, right leg steps back, left leg steps back, high plank. Inhale in your high plank, exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Same inner thighs, but this time locust. Inhale, raise your hands, reach them behind you. Exhale, hands down. Downward facing dog. Then inhale, raise the right leg to the sky. Exhale, travel forward to three-legged plank. Inhale, a breath here. Exhale, right knee towards the chest. And then inhale, flip that right foot forward. This time bring it to the center of the mat. Ground the back foot parallel with the back of the mat. Warrior two. So take a moment, set up your warrior. Front shin is vertical, left glutes a little active. We're just going to be focusing now, once I've set those 2 points up, on the inner thighs. So bring the palms together in the heart space, take the shoulders out of it for a moment. And exhale, release the inner thighs, notice what happens. Inhale a breath here, feel it. And then exhale, squeeze the inner thighs together. Now they're apart, but that's the same sensation. Feel what happens here. Then inhale, release it. And exhale, squeeze those inner thighs. Then keep that inhale, reach your hands wide, warrior 2. Keep that exhale, reverse the warrior. Inhale here, keep that inner thigh activation. And then exhale, feel yourself lifting up and out of the side of the waist. Then inhale back, warrior 2. And exhale, straighten your left leg. Inhale, send the hips back, reach the right hand forward, bring your left hand to your left hip and your right hand somewhere on your right shin. So for now, look at the floor. Look at the right toes. And now I'll focus not on the feet today, but those inner thighs. Inhale, let everything go. Notice what happens, feel the movement. And then exhale, squeeze those inner thighs and notice what happens. Inhale, let it go. And exhale, feel it, squeeze it, open it. Inhale, let it go. Notice how the chest turns towards the floor. Exhale as you squeeze those inner thighs. Notice how all of a sudden I'm full body. I can open through my chest. Hold it there. Inhale, lift your left hand to the sky. Exhale, maintain that activation of inner thighs. Inhale a breath here. Exhale, one more in triangle. Then inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, windmill the hands. Step the right foot back. High plank. Bring the feet together. Drop the right knee to the floor. Bring the right hand underneath your face. Take the right foot back so it's now at 90 degrees. The left leg is on top and the left leg is straight. Side plank variation. Let it go in those inner thighs and feel what you feel right now. And then squeeze as you exhale those inner thighs together. That's all you're doing. Feel the difference. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, use the inner thighs and feel. Exhale, let it go. One more. Inhale, use the inner thighs. Hold it here. Exhale. Keep those inner thighs working nice and strong. And then you'll feel the whole rest of the body working for you too. Exhale, de-rotate. Plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Locust. Inhale. Exhale, hands either side of your chest. Downward facing dog. Inhale a breath here. And exhale a breath. Inhale, drop the knees to the floor. And then exhale, just sit back and down in a child's pose. Bring the hands behind you, allow the head to soften down to the floor. Just 3 or 4 rounds of breath here in this child's pose before we do the same thing on the other side. And then when you're ready, inhale, walk the hands forward. Come via all fours. Tuck under the toes. Downward facing dog. And then inhale, raise the left leg to the sky. Exhale, come forward, 3-legged plank. Inhale here. Exhale, left knee towards the chest. And then inhale, step that left foot forward. Help it if it needs it. Bring it to the center of the mat. Inhale your way back to warrior two. You're now on the other side. Set your posture. Front shin vertical. Back glute a little active. You'll notice that glute coming and going in a minute when we turn on and off those inner thighs. Bring the palms together in the heart space. As you inhale your next breath, release the tension in the inner thighs. And just stay here for a moment, notice. You might notice your left knee tracking towards the right side of the mat. You might notice your pelvis a little bit out of alignment. You might notice a little bit of sensation in the back. Next time you exhale, simple action like you're holding that block between those inner thighs and feel the difference. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, activate those inner thighs. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, activate those inner thighs, feel it. Reach the hands wide, hold it here. So now we're continuing to feel that control and we're over-exaggerating the sensation today so we can notice what happens in the body. Inhale, keep all of that and reverse the warrior. And exhale, hold it here. Keep squeezing those inner thighs as you inhale. And exhale. Nice. One more here. And then exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, reach forward. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Take the gaze to the floor for now. So your left hand's somewhere on your left shin or your left thigh. And then as you exhale, let everything go. This time we're going to do it on the in-breath. Inhale, squeeze those inner thighs and feel what happens. There's nothing so much to do with the breath this time. Exhale, release. It's more to do with, when I activate these inner thigh muscles, that brings attention to muscles throughout the body. And then exhale, let it go. But also that brings attention to the structure and how my posture stabilizes in the pose. Let it go. And then next one, inhale, squeeze those inner thighs, feel the chest open, reach the right hand high, triangle. So all we're focusing on in our triangle today is that activation of inner thighs. We're still breathing, we set the cadence of breath in those sun salutations. And our focus, our concentration is on this inner thigh muscle activation. Then as you exhale, bend the left knee, warrior two. Inhale, windmill the hands and step back to plank. Exhale, drop the left knee to the center of the mat. Bring the left hand just ahead of the face and then roll onto the side, making the left knee at 90 degrees. So Vashisthasana variation. Then let everything go. And as you inhale, squeeze those inner thighs and feel. And then as you exhale, let it go. And then inhale, squeeze those inner thighs and feel. Exhale, release. This time, inhale, squeeze. And then hold it here. Feel that sense of control that now travels to the whole body simply from the one action of engaging those inner thighs. We are conscious to almost over-recruit those inner thighs today so we can feel the difference. As you exhale, derotate. Bring the knees to the floor. Sit the hips back to the heels. Take the hands behind you. Child's pose. So we've got time for a couple of seated poses before a short Shavasana today. Feel the breath as it comes in and as it leaves the body. And allow the body to use this pose right now as a little respite. pressing into the hands, come all the way up and sit on your heels. As you sit on your heels, bring your right elbow on top of your left, and either bring the backs of the hands together or take eagle arms. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Squeeze the elbows together. And then ever so slightly tilt the forearms towards the right. And bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Now you might find it more sensation if you tuck your chin, or more sensation if you lift your chin. Find the space where it feels good, and then breathe into the space that is being stretched. Take a breath in. And then exhale, release, roll your shoulders. Nice. Just take a moment, stay here. Inhale. And then as you exhale, walk your hands forward. This time we're going to tuck under our toes. So if as you do that, sitting back on your heels is too much for your feet or your thighs, feel free to take a cushion or a block underneath your heels. And you might want to just take a moment to make sure the little toes are not tucked under either. So from here, same thing, this time left elbow on top of right. Eagle arms or backs of the palms towards one another. Tuck the chin and squeeze the elbows together. And then tilting the forearms to the left, bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. And just have a little play, but make sure any movement is soft and slow. And then breathe into those tight spaces. And then inhale, undo it, and come just down to lie on your back. We're going to finish with a twist and then Shavasana. So finding yourself to lie on your back and your feet nice and close to your hips. Cross your right leg over the left, and then move your hips to the left and drop your knees to the right. And then just allow your left hand to travel out. If that's too much for your back, your shoulder, then just uncross your legs here. And just taking a couple of breaths into the front of the chest. And then draw those knees back to the center. Uncross your legs and bring your hips back in line with your torso. So right leg over left, hips go to the right, knees drop to the left, and then right arm opens out. Again, if that's too much, just uncross that top leg, don't overdo it. I just feel in my body, I feel like a good twist today. And this feels right for my body. But every individual body is built differently. And we have different stresses and strains from the differing activities we do. Different jobs that we take. And then back to the center. So uncross your legs, bring your hips back in line with your shoulders. Either stay here with the knees bent or extend the legs out in front of you. Bring your hands by your side, palms facing up. Shavasana. And just take a moment to feel the wholeness of your body. And to use the next couple of exhalation breaths to really release now the tension in those inner thighs. And then slowly walk your feet back towards your hips, hug your knees in towards your chest. Rock over onto your side and push yourself up. We'll finish in a cross-legged position with our palms together in our heart space and our heads bowed. Namaste.